Did you know that the average woman over 50 is holding on to more than 10,000 items she no longer uses? And many of these things could be quietly draining her energy, cluttering her mind, and even affecting her overall health without her realizing it. It's not just about stuff. It's about how these items weigh on your daily life, your routines, and your ability to focus on what truly matters. Meet Maribel Knox, 61, semi-retired, living in Arizona, who recently faced this exact challenge. Between downsizing her home, managing family responsibilities, and trying to rediscover a sense of purpose after decades of established routines, she realized something important. Her home was full, but her life felt paused. The furniture, the paperwork, the digital accounts, even the just-in-case items were silently creating friction in her day-to-day life, making her feel overwhelmed and stuck. Decluttering before 2026 isn't just about freeing up space. It's about reclaiming safety in your home, mental clarity, energy to do what you love, and the freedom to move forward without invisible burdens. Each small step Maribel takes has the potential to transform not only her home but her confidence, her peace of mind, and her ability to fully embrace this next chapter. Before we dive into the list, if this is already striking a chord with you, go ahead and hit that like and hype button. It's your way of supporting content designed to empower women over 50. In just a few minutes, you'll see the 10 items Maribel declutters that completely changed her home and mindset, and why addressing these areas now can give you more freedom, safety, and clarity than you might imagine. 1. Paper systems that no longer work. When it comes to paper systems, many women over 50 don't realize how much mental energy these old files and stacks of documents silently consume. For Maribel Knox, 61, one of the first areas she tackled was her mountain of outdated paperwork. Everything from expired warranties to old medical records, tax statements from years past, and filing cabinets filled with duplicates she hadn't touched in ages. At first glance, it might seem harmless, but these papers were creating invisible stress every time she needed something urgently, like a prescription refill, a tax document, or insurance verification. Even small tasks took longer than necessary because she had to sift through multiple versions of the same document or hunt for receipts buried under years of accumulated clutter. Decluttering your paper systems isn't just about tossing old bills or shredding unnecessary files. It's about creating a functional, streamlined system that makes your daily life smoother and safer. For seniors, having easy access to important papers can prevent panic during medical emergencies, reduce confusion when paying bills, and eliminate frustration during routine appointments. Maribel started by sorting documents into 3 categories: keep, digitize, and discard, then created labeled folders for what truly mattered. By scanning key documents and organizing them in a clear, accessible digital format, she freed up space, reduced her anxiety, and gained confidence that she could find anything she needed within seconds. The transformation was immediate. Her desk was no longer a chaotic pile of papers, her filing cabinet finally served a purpose, and even small tasks that used to feel daunting became simple. This step doesn't just make your home tidier. It creates mental clarity, giving you energy to focus on what really matters in your life. Which papers stress you out the most? Comment below. But what Maribel tackled next completely changed the way she felt at home. 2. Furniture that restricts safe movement. For many women over 50, furniture isn't just decor. It can secretly make daily life harder, even dangerous. Maribel Knox, 61, quickly realized this when she tried to navigate her living room after a small renovation. Her low sofas forced her to struggle when sitting or standing, oversized coffee tables created tight spaces that made her feel cramped, and a few decorative chairs were unstable, creating a constant low-level anxiety whenever she moved around. At first, she didn't see the problem. These pieces had been in her home for years, and they were comfortable in appearance. But over time, she noticed subtle signs: minor bumps, awkward twists, and a lingering hesitation whenever she walked from room to room. Decluttering furniture isn't about throwing out everything you own. It's about making every step safer and easier. Maribel started by identifying pieces that limited her mobility, blocked natural walking paths, or were rarely used. She removed oversized items that crowded her space, repositioned chairs to allow for smooth movement, and replaced a few unstable pieces with functional options that offered support. The difference was immediate. Walking from the kitchen to the living room felt effortless, her movements became more fluid, and the tension she didn't realize she carried simply from maneuvering around her own furniture disappeared. This step also had an unexpected emotional impact. Maribel found herself feeling lighter and more confident, not only physically but mentally. Her home now invited her to move freely without worry, creating a sense of independence she hadn't felt in years. For seniors, small changes like these can prevent falls, reduce daily strain, and provide the freedom to enjoy daily routines without hesitation. Do you have furniture that makes moving around stressful? Comment below. But what Maribel tackled next in her home completely surprised her and changed her daily life in ways she never imagined. 3. Kitchen tools for meals you no longer cook. For many women over 50, the kitchen can become a silent source of stress rather than a place of enjoyment. Maribel Knox, 61, noticed this when she opened her cabinets one morning and realized she owned multiple large holiday cookware sets she hadn't used in years, specialty appliances like a panini press and yogurt maker that had collected dust, and drawers full of duplicate utensils she didn't need. Each time she prepared a simple meal, she felt overwhelmed by the clutter, digging through items she never used while trying to focus on the task at hand. It was frustrating, and she began to notice that cooking, which had once been relaxing, now felt like a chore. Decluttering the kitchen isn't about minimalism or getting rid of things you love. It's about aligning your tools with your current lifestyle. Maribel started by asking herself what she actually cooked on a daily or weekly basis. If a pan or appliance hadn't been touched in the past year, it went into a donate or sell pile. She organized utensils into functional groups, kept only what she truly used, and arranged items for easy access during meal prep. This simple approach transformed her kitchen into a space that worked for her life now, not for past habits or special occasions she rarely celebrated. The benefits went beyond convenience. Cooking became more enjoyable, cleanup was faster, and Maribel felt a renewed sense of confidence in her home. She realized that having a kitchen cluttered with unused gadgets not only took up physical space but also added subtle mental stress every time she entered the room. For seniors, this kind of thoughtful decluttering can make everyday tasks smoother, save energy, and even inspire healthier eating routines because the kitchen feels inviting rather than overwhelming. Do you have a gadget you never touch? Tell us below. And what Maribel tackled next in her home revealed even more about the hidden ways our possessions shape our daily lives. 4. Clothes for careers, climates, and roles you've left. Clothing can hold more than fabric. It can carry the weight of your past. Maribel Knox, 61, realized her wardrobe was filled with office suits she no longer wore, formal dresses from decades-old events, and just-in-case outfits she kept out of habit rather than need. Each morning, standing in front of her overflowing closet, she felt a subtle sense of overwhelm. Decisions about what to wear, once simple, had become tiring and stressful. Even though she hadn't worn many of these pieces in years, they still took up space and mental energy, silently reminding her of past roles and obligations she no longer needed to perform. Decluttering clothes isn't about giving up memories. It's about aligning your wardrobe with your current lifestyle. Maribel began by assessing what she actually wore in her day-to-day life. Items that no longer suited her routines, climate, or comfort level were carefully removed, while beloved and frequently used pieces were organized for easy access. She created categories based on current needs, casual, active, seasonal essentials, and stored or donated anything that didn't fit into these categories. This process not only cleared physical space but also reduced the mental load of choosing outfits each morning. The transformation was powerful. Maribel found herself dressing faster, feeling more confident, and embracing her personal style without the pressure of old expectations. She realized that a cluttered wardrobe isn't just inconvenient, it can subtly drain your energy and limit your sense of freedom. For women over 50, refining your closet can bring immediate relief, make daily routines smoother, and even encourage a renewed sense of self-expression that reflects the life you actually lead today. Next, we're tackling something invisible that drains energy daily, and addressing it can completely change how you feel in your own home. 5. Digital accounts you no longer control. In today's world, clutter isn't just physical. Digital clutter can quietly drain your energy and even put you at risk. Maribel Knox, 61, realized this when she tried to update her email and online accounts. She had multiple email addresses she no longer checked, subscriptions she had forgotten about, duplicate cloud storage folders, and passwords she couldn't remember. Each login attempt felt stressful, and she noticed anxiety creeping in every time she received a suspicious email or struggled to find a document she knew she had saved somewhere online. The digital chaos wasn't just inconvenient, it was quietly overwhelming her day-to-day life. Decluttering your digital life is about creating a system that reduces stress, increases security, and makes daily online tasks simple. Maribel began by listing all her accounts and determining which ones were still necessary. She canceled unused subscriptions, deleted old email addresses after safely transferring important information, and consolidated files in her cloud storage so she could find them in seconds. She also implemented a simple password manager to keep track of everything safely, which eliminated the mental burden of trying to remember multiple logins. The results were remarkable. Maribel felt a sense of relief she hadn't expected. Her online life became more manageable, and she had peace of mind knowing she was less vulnerable to scams, hacking attempts, or accidental mistakes. Even routine tasks like checking emails or accessing documents became easier and faster. For seniors, taking control of your digital space can be empowering, providing clarity and confidence in a world that often feels overwhelming online. Would you like a full digital decluttering guide? Comment below. And what Maribel focused on next revealed the surprising way our past hobbies can quietly weigh us down. 6. Hobby supplies kept out of guilt. Hobbies are meant to bring joy, relaxation, and a sense of accomplishment, but for many women over 50, they can quietly create stress instead. Maribel Knox, 61, found herself surrounded by craft supplies she never used, exercise equipment that had gathered dust, and several unfinished projects she felt obligated to complete. Every time she looked at these items, she felt a mix of guilt and overwhelm. The very activities that were supposed to energize her had become silent reminders of shoulds and could-haves, subtly draining her enthusiasm and making her home feel cluttered even though she wasn't actively engaging with the items. Decluttering hobby supplies isn't about giving up creativity or abandoning interests. It's about reclaiming space and mental energy for what truly excites you now. Maribel began by assessing which hobbies she actively participated in and which items were keeping her tethered to past intentions she no longer pursued. She set aside the tools and materials she actually enjoyed using and created a dedicated, organized area for them. Items that hadn't been touched in over a year, or projects that no longer sparked joy, were donated, sold, or recycled. This process allowed her to focus on her current passions without the guilt of unused supplies weighing on her. The transformation went beyond tidiness. Maribel discovered that her creative space now invited her to engage with hobbies intentionally and joyfully. She felt lighter, more motivated, and free to pursue the activities she truly loved without mental clutter. For seniors, this approach not only clears physical space but also fosters a sense of purpose and satisfaction, turning hobby areas into energizing spaces rather than sources of silent stress. But her emergency supplies were actually making her feel unsafe, and what she did next completely changed her sense of security in her home. 7. Emergency items that create false security. Many seniors keep emergency supplies thinking they are prepared, but over time, these items can create a false sense of security. Maribel Knox, 61, had multiple first aid kits, expired medications, and redundant emergency supplies tucked into closets and cabinets. She initially felt proud knowing she was ready for anything, but over time, she noticed the clutter made her feel anxious rather than safe. When she actually needed something, a bandage or a current prescription, she often struggled to locate it quickly, realizing that preparedness means nothing if items are outdated, broken, or hard to access. Decluttering emergency supplies isn't about reducing safety, it's about making preparedness truly effective. Maribel began by checking expiration dates on medications, replacing outdated items in her first aid kits, and removing duplicates or supplies she could no longer use safely. She also organized her emergency items in clear, labeled containers, keeping essentials within easy reach and storing backups in logical locations. By doing this, she transformed her emergency supplies from a source of hidden stress into a practical, reliable system she could trust in any situation. The emotional impact was immediate. Maribel felt calmer knowing she had exactly what she needed, in good condition, without the overwhelm of cluttered cupboards and forgotten boxes. She realized that being prepared is not about quantity but about quality, accessibility, and relevance. For women over 50, this approach ensures safety while freeing mental and physical space, reducing anxiety, and giving confidence that emergencies can truly be managed efficiently. Do you have items sitting, just in case, that you never use? Comment below. And what Maribel discovered next revealed how inherited items can quietly weigh you down emotionally and physically. 8. Inherited items with no practical role. For many women over 50, inherited items carry both emotional weight and practical challenges. Maribel Knox, 61, found her home filled with family furniture she rarely used, decorative heirlooms tucked away in corners, unused china, and collections passed down over generations. At first, she felt obligated to keep everything. It was her way of honoring family history. Yet, over time, these items became a source of stress rather than comfort. They occupied valuable space, made cleaning and movement more difficult, and created a subtle sense of guilt every time she considered letting something go. Decluttering inherited items doesn't mean disrespecting loved ones. It's about honoring memories without being trapped by objects. Maribel approached this carefully, taking time to reflect on each piece. Items she genuinely valued or regularly used were preserved in meaningful ways, while pieces that served no current purpose were donated, sold, or passed on to family members who could enjoy them. She also documented a few stories about special items before letting them go, creating a way to preserve the emotional connection without keeping everything physically. The results were liberating. Her home felt lighter, more navigable, and easier to maintain. She no longer experienced the quiet pressure of keeping everything just in case, which allowed her to focus on spaces and possessions that truly supported her current lifestyle. For seniors, letting go of inherited items can provide freedom from obligation without guilt, improve the usability of living spaces, and even foster a more intentional approach to family legacy. But the items in the garage were a bigger problem than she thought, and what she did next completely changed her living space and peace of mind. 9. Just-in-case storage areas. Many women over 50 find themselves storing items in basements, garages, spare rooms, or even paid storage units with the idea that they might need them, just in case. Maribel Knox, 61, faced this exact scenario. Her basement was packed with old furniture, boxes of clothes, forgotten holiday decorations, and miscellaneous items she hadn't touched in years. The garage was crowded with tools, exercise equipment, and random possessions she thought she might need someday. While it seemed like a safe plan at first, over time these storage areas became overwhelming. She would spend hours searching for a single item, feel guilty about unused possessions, and notice that the sheer volume of just-in-case things was mentally and emotionally draining. Decluttering storage areas isn't about tossing memories or essentials. It's about reclaiming clarity and making decisions for the life you want now. Maribel started by tackling one space at a time. She asked herself, "Have I used this in the past year? Does it truly support my current lifestyle?" Items that didn't meet these criteria were donated, sold, or recycled. She created clearly labeled zones for items she genuinely needed or cherished, ensuring that each remaining object had a purpose and a proper home. The impact was transformative. Not only did her spaces become easier to navigate, but she also felt lighter mentally and emotionally. The constant background stress of, "I should do something with this someday," disappeared, and she gained confidence in her ability to maintain a home that matched her life stage. For seniors, thoughtfully decluttering storage areas can free up physical space, reduce anxiety, and create a home ready for the next chapter of life, whether that means downsizing, redesigning, or simply enjoying the present without clutter weighing them down. Which storage area stresses you the most? Comment below. And what Maribel faced next involved items that directly affected her family, and the solution completely transformed her sense of responsibility and peace of mind. 10. Items your children will have to sort through later. One of the most overlooked forms of clutter for women over 50 is the stuff that will eventually fall to your children to manage. Maribel Knox, 61, realized this when she looked around her home and noticed unlabeled boxes, stacks of paperwork mixed with old photos, and sentimental items without any context or explanation. While she kept these items with love and intention, she began to understand that without organization, they could become a source of confusion, frustration, and stress for her family in the future. The thought of leaving her children with the burden of sorting decades of possessions weighed heavily on her emotionally, creating a sense of urgency to take action. Decluttering these items isn't about discarding memories. It's about creating clarity and reducing unnecessary stress for your loved ones. Maribel started by reviewing each box and item, asking herself if it held true significance or practical value. She labeled everything clearly, grouped similar items together, and created short notes explaining the importance or context of sentimental objects. For items that no longer served a purpose, she chose thoughtful ways to pass them on to family, donate, or repurpose them. This method not only preserved meaningful memories but also ensured that her children wouldn't be left guessing or overwhelmed when the time came. The emotional relief was profound. Maribel felt lighter knowing she had taken responsibility in a thoughtful, intentional way. Her home was more organized, her possessions had purpose, and she could enjoy her space without the lingering worry of passing on unnecessary clutter. For seniors, this step is more than practical. It's an act of love, helping family members avoid stress while honoring what truly matters. By taking the time to declutter and organize, you can leave a legacy of clarity, intention, and peace rather than confusion and burden. Have you started this for your family yet? Share below. And now, after addressing all 10 areas, Maribel's home and mindset were completely transformed, showing just how freeing thoughtful decluttering can be. After tackling all 10 areas, Maribel Knox's home looked and felt completely different. The clutter that had silently drained her energy was gone, leaving rooms that were lighter, safer, and far easier to navigate. Her kitchen now supported her daily routines. Her furniture allowed for smooth, confident movement, and her paper and digital systems were organized for efficiency and peace of mind. The basement, garage, and storage areas no longer felt like overwhelming obligations but spaces she could manage with ease. Even the sentimental and inherited items she kept were thoughtfully curated, preserving memories without creating stress. This transformation went beyond her physical space. Maribel noticed a profound shift in her mindset. She felt more in control, less anxious, and free to enjoy her home and life without the invisible weight of unnecessary possessions. Mental clarity, emotional calm, and practical functionality all came together to create a sanctuary that supported her well-being. The key takeaway is simple yet powerful. Success after 50 isn't about accumulating more stuff. It's about clarity, safety, and peace of mind. Every item she chose to keep had a purpose, and every space she organized now contributed to her sense of freedom, confidence, and readiness for whatever life brought next. Maribel's journey proves that thoughtful decluttering can be life-changing, giving seniors not just a cleaner home but a lighter, more intentional life. If this video helped you, here's how you can show your support and help others discover these tips. Tap hype, hit like, and subscribe to our channel. Your hype boosts this video on YouTube's leaderboard, helping more women over 50 find freedom from clutter. Here's a quick guide to hype. Step 1. Open the YouTube app and scroll down to the comment preview carousel. Step 2. Swipe left until you see the hype button. Step 3. Tap hype and choose how many points you want to give. Remember, smaller creators get a bigger boost. Step 4. Confirm and you're done. You can hype up to 3 videos per week, and every hype helps push this message to seniors who need it most. Go ahead, tap hype, hit like, and make sure you're subscribed. Together we can grow this community, empower more women over 50, and make every home a lighter, safer, and more peaceful place to live.